one of the first things I ask myself is, if anything happens to that platform, what happens to my business? It's like you're staying in someone's apartment, and the person comes to me and tells you that I've sold the building. What would you do?
Hello, welcome to the KWS Show. Our guest today is Bassey Ubaha. Bassey Ubaha is an entrepreneur and the creative head at DekkSeven Enterprises. DekkSeven Enterprises is a fast-rising e-commerce platform. He's also the founder of Project Clac. Clac means Clothe a Child, and since 2014, Project Clac has been running through the support of partners and friends. The project has empowered hundreds of children in underprivileged communities across the country. In 2015, together with Ben Bruce Foundation, the project provided items for kids in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Bayelsa. He previously worked at Silverbird Communications for over 6 years. He was part of the team that organized the major events like the Most Beautiful Girl in Nigeria, Silverbird Man of the Year, Mr. Nigeria, Silverbird VJ Search, amongst others. As a talented voiceover artist and presenter, he has worked with many brands, entertainment big shots, and been on radio shows alongside Ike Osakiodua on Rhythm FM 93.7. Bassey is also passionate about inspiring and motivating others, which he does through his podcast, True Yarn. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Bassey Ubaha to the show. Welcome, bro.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
How are you doing?
Very fine, thank you.
Amazing.
How are you?
I'm good. So tell me about your voice. It gets me every time. Is there something you take that makes your voice so thick, or is it from birth?
I think, like I said, the way you have, I always tell people, the way you have Tukumbo,
okay,
and you have brand new, Tieroba. I don't take anything, it's just follow come. I wake up, this is how I sound. Morning, afternoon, even sometimes it even still scares me.
Okay.
That my voice can vibrate a couple of things, yeah.
Amazing. So when you were growing up, how did you discover that you were going to be a voiceover artist? Did you know in time that voiceover is a big business, that you started doing voiceovers?
Okay, I think first off, I just wanted to be great.
Okay.
I just knew I was going to be great.
As simple as that.
Yeah, I didn't know what God was going to use.
Okay.
What part of my life or what part of my talents was going to come out first.
Okay.
I remember very well in SS1. You know how when we were younger, we used to try and mimic big voices.
Sure.
So I used to do that a lot. And then I wrote an exam, then SS2, and I came back to school. My chest was always vibrating. Like, you know, like I'm you're talking, you're like,
okay,
I can't believe I'm the one talking. Everyone around me, they were like, are you still forming this thing, or this is you
it's
for
natural.
real? I think then I just had to get used to it. At first I was shy, to be honest.
Really?
Because you walk into somewhere, for instance, you walk into the bank and you're trying to talk to the cashier and you're like, I can't hear you. But after a while, I just had to embrace it. I know that was what made me unique. So personally, it's my own unique gift, my own unique talent.
Amazing, amazing. So tell me, have you been able to use it to get girls?
Okay.
Because I know girls like this kind of thing.
Honestly, the thing is, it's like, so it's something that attracts. It's just like, maybe for instance, nowadays, ladies like birds, or people like guys that have birds.
True.
So people just naturally. So when I'm somewhere, and I'm opportunity to talk. Okay, I remember there was a show I went for. I was a guest on the show.
Tell me.
And as soon as I walked into the reception, I was with someone, but a lady walked up to me and she was like, I really love your voice. Hi. And I'm like, but you can see that I'm with someone. So the thing is, honestly, you just have to be humble about whatever gift you have. That's what I've learned. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. If people tell you, I like this thing about you, it's not for your head to swell. It's for you to be humble and ask yourself genuinely, how can you use this thing to make a difference?
Amazing. So you are one person that have been able to make a business out of a lot of the gifts that you have. You're the CEO of DekkSeven Enterprises. Starting up a business in Nigeria and making a merchandise of a lot of the gifts that you have, the talents, the passion, the vision. How easy is it? How easy is it in Nigeria? Was it easy for you?
Okay, so I'll start with one of the defining moments in my life. I remember very well growing up. I had this uncle. You know how you have an uncle overseas. He's always calling you, trying to check up on you, and then he's visiting Nigeria, and it comes with a lot of good things for you.
Okay.
And then surprisingly, there's this big box of books. And I'm like, bro, you could have just gotten like, maybe like wristwatches, shoes and all of that.
Okay.
But one thing led to the other, and I was able to pick one of the books, and I read it. After reading that book, for me, it was now like a challenge. I had to keep reading. So my trophy was seeing the books pile up.
Okay.
So for me, that changed my mentality a lot. I'm not sure I've even read like that again in my life.
Wow.
I can't remember how many. I know I read a lot of books. To the
At
extent
what
that
age was this?
I was a teenager. I was a teenager. Probably, to be honest, I think I was about maybe 17 or 16.
Wow.
Yes. So I just told myself that. So it's reshaping my mind, knowing that I need to start something. I need to be known for whatever. Yes, I need to be known for something. And then starting DekkSeven was the first thing that came to my mind. My uni, we used to wear corporates, like corporate casual. So I noticed that a lot of people were looking funny because they just wear long sleeves. So I wanted to stand out. That's how I just said, okay, you know what? I need to start this clothes line. But trust me, just like we're saying before the show started, starting something is very easy.
Yeah.
But that consistency, that one tests you like differently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When I see projects and products from DekkSeven, one of the things that always take me aback is the fact that you've been able to brand that business and make a seemingly normal fashion business into a clothing line that is a household name. How have you been able to brand this? How did you do it? How did you come up with the idea to brand your business the way you've done and become a success out of it?
Yeah, it's just like beautiful, it's just like a show. You have this amazing show, but it has no name.
Okay.
So when you're starting to, like, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Nothing Follows.
Yeah.
So what my spirit was always telling me was, people need to be able to, the same way you have popular brands, I won't call names, popular brands like DekkSeven, do you understand? So that's how I wanted people to know. Okay. This is a popular brand, this is a brand that people can always rely on. And one of the first things that I started with so there was a name. Okay. So the funny thing is, you know how you shirts have like tags in it? Yes. There was no tag yet.
So you're just sewing like normal shirts.
But the thing is, I kept calling it the name. Do you understand? So I kept saying, I'm wearing a DekkSeven shirt, and you check it and you don't see the name. But I know, or I knew that very soon you'll be seeing the name on it. So I started calling it what I wanted it to be. Wow. I tried making the labels in Nigeria at first, and trust me, after the first wash, the name just went out. Wow. So I had to try and see how I can make sure that we get international standard of tags, which we still use to today. Okay. So the thing is, when you even wash it, or when you put it side by side with some foreign brands, you're like, I can't believe this is made in Nigeria. Okay. So for me, standing out and having a brand that has a name, people should know it, and people say, I can't believe this is from Nigeria. I can't believe this was made in. Started producing in Warri. Oh, wow. Yes, started producing in Warri. So I can't believe this was made in Warri. That's some of our products that are in Lagos are produced in Warri. Wow. Yeah. Wow, amazing. Because I see a lot of these things, and looking at the brand DekkSeven and looking at the line, I remember seeing it and asking myself, when this person started, what were some of the challenges that he experienced? Like, you know, people have the habit of thinking you have to have a lot of money before you can start and brand a business. True. What do you think about that as regards to your business? Did you think money was money before the business, or was the business before the money? So I also think of it as we're all connected. So if you're pursuing your dream, you're helping someone pursue his or her dream. So for me, it was a matter of fulfilling my purpose in life, which I think for everyone should be very important. Okay. What is it you were meant to achieve? And in the course of achieving that, who are the people? What's the ripple effect? Okay. So starting the business was, yes, I want to be a billionaire. Do you understand? That's always the plan. In all honesty, yes. But the long run was more of the impact. What kind of impact? Years after, will people still be able to, years after I'm gone, by God's grace, old age and everything, with my grandkids, will people still be able to run with this vision? Or it would just be a case of business started, the CEO is out of the business, and then business goes down. So, but starting was very challenging because it was, you know how we start, it's a mind thing. Yeah. You are dealing with so many fears, so many what ifs, so many unanswered questions. How do you start this thing? So for me, I don't know if you mind if I give you a bit of a background on it. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so I remember very well, I told myself, I need to start a business. I need to start this business. And the good thing is my mom is a fashion designer.
Oh, amazing.
So I just saw it. I remember growing up as a kid, she would get us glue. So what we do with, personally, what I used to do is I'll cut out shots.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, before I take 2 steps, you can imagine making shots out of paper.
Okay.
So as a kid, I would just make shots out of paper.
True.
And before you take a few steps, paper is, so okay, what I used to do is I'll put rubber band in the waist side so it holds.
Okay.
So that was like, so I asked myself, what can I start? And the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, start a fashion business and see how it goes. To be honest, the money part was there. But more importantly was how do I even get this thing started?
Okay.
But one of the major things that really defined, which I still do to date, is just start it. When you start it, when you start it, you start thinking of ways to make it better. But if you keep sitting down and saying, oh, we have to plan, sometimes over-planning kills the vision.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Analysis to paralysis.
You would over-plan, and at the end of the day, you don't execute.
Amazing.
So I'd rather execute, start from somewhere. It's like a seed, for instance. You put a seed in the ground. You don't see anything, but the seed is broken. It just started. It's not looking at the fact that it will bear a fruit, but it's starting from somewhere. It's growing roots, and before you know it comes out, and people can become a shade to people.
True.
Fruits, fruit juice, herbal medicine. But it started from just starting somewhere.
True.
So for me, I just told myself, one day it just hit me, bam. And I remember I entered I was with my grandmother then, just entered the car. As a teenager, I said I want to just start my business. I didn't know where I was going, to be honest. As soon as I left the estate, as soon as I got to the junction, my spirit just said, go right. This is true life. And I just thought, bro, I didn't know where I was going.
Okay.
But it was when I got on the express that my spirit just said, you know that guy, that Igbo guy, you always go and buy clothes from.
Okay.
That's your contact. Go and meet that guy.
Okay.
I drove all the way. There's somewhere called Igbo Markets. Anybody that's
in Lagos?
No, in Warri.
Warri, okay.
Yes. So go to Igbo Markets. So I went there. I met this guy. I was like, he thought I wanted to buy. He was already welcoming. Guy, have fun. I have new stuff. I said, no, I'm looking for someone that can make my own outfits. He said, oh, really? I said, yes. He said, you don't want to follow me by again? I said, no, I'll still purchase from you, but no wahala. The next thing, he introduces me to someone. You know how you have guys that come to pick stuff from?
True.
Yes, so there was someone there. He said, meet this guy, go with this guy. He will take you to a good tailor. So that guy takes me to a tailor. That tailor takes me to my first tailor. So you can imagine the connection.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow,
Was
okay.
the fourth person.
Okay.
And that's how I started.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to me because young people these days don't want to take responsibility for their lives or the outcome of their lives. So how can young people, especially those that are planning to go into this line of business, doing different businesses, I see a lot of young people on social media posting, selling this, selling that, selling that. How can they begin to take control of their lives to better their lives?
I think they kind of have it, or right now, to do things are a bit more, I won't say it's easier because there are so many platforms.
Okay.
Look at
talking about the digital media,
yes,
right?
look at social media alone. You have Snapchat, I can go on and call names,
Okay.
but there are a lot of them, and I think personally, those are people's platforms.
Okay.
So one of the first things I ask myself is, if anything happens to that platform, what happens to my business?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't do everything based on one platform.
Based on someone's platform. It's easy to, it's like you're staying in someone's apartment and the person comes to me and tells you that I've sold the building. What would you do? You start looking for where to go.
To move.
Yes. So one of the first questions I ask is, how can you evolve from just having your stuff on people's platforms to having somewhere where you call home? Your home. Somewhere you're building. That's what even birthed the e-commerce platform.
Okay.
Somewhere we can tweak to. It's like today you can come and say you want to take off your beds. You want to take off, but you can't easily go and do it for someone else. The person tells you, please don't touch my beds.
True.
You can't touch it. And then they can be restrictive. They tell you can't post. They have algorithms that are not working in your favor.
Okay.
So you post something, nobody sees it. So for me, I look at it as in the Western world, it's a bit more different because most of the businesses that start in the Western world they have e-commerce platforms or platforms where people can buy
already made platforms where you can put those.
Yes, so I think that's an angle that young people should look at.
Okay, amazing. So let's talk about True Yarn podcast.
Okay.
That's your new baby.
Yes.
What's the inspiration behind it? Going from doing business into the media, doing a podcast. Why true yarn. What are you yarning about?
We are yarning the truth, so to say. Yeah. So,
Okay.
true yarn is actually, you said the right words. It's actually my baby.
True.
Yes, because this is something that was, will I say, inscribed in my heart for a long time.
How
be
long?
honest.
Like how long?
Honestly, for about 7 years.
Wow. So you nursed the idea for about 7 years.
Yes.
Why didn't you start in all the 7 years?
So the first time it came to my heart, I wanted to start it big. Just go big. I thought of the whole, have an online, like radio, like a lot of things came to my mind, and I just want to start it big. But truth is, I'm happy I didn't start it that way, because it would have flopped, and I'll start picking up the pieces.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm happy with the fact that I know what I know now, and now I'm starting a bit more differently. We're talking about starting from working your way from bottom up. Yes. So most recently in 2019, I just got a disturbance in my spirit that you need to start this thing. You need to have a platform where you're not just talking to people, but you're inspiring people to be better. And the truth is, when you're even trying to inspire people, you're inspiring yourself.
True.
Because sometimes when you listen to the words that you
said,
you're like, okay.
I do that all the time.
So much wisdom here. But sometimes you can critique yourself and ask yourself, how can I be better? What do I need to know more about? What can I read? What kind of books would enable me be a better person? So True Yarn is aimed at addressing a lot of issues, from depression. Most recently, you can look at racism, rape, molestation. There are like a lot of things that True Yarn addresses. So the idea is True Yarn, say it as it is. There's no in between.
Back.
Yes, we're not lukewarm. It's either it's cold or it's hot. So starting with the podcast was, to be honest, I'm a spiritual person.
Okay.
Yes, and the Holy Spirit just said, start with what you have. Because I thought of it, I'm a media person, and left to me alone, I'll have a lot of adverts, True Yarn, use voiceovers, back. But the Holy Spirit was like, start with what you have. Just start yarning and then grow it from there. And to be honest, right now, we have people that listen from over 7 countries.
Wow.
Yes, over 7 countries. And now, most recently, from yesterday till today, we have been listed on about 7 different platforms.
Okay.
From Spotify to Apple Podcasts to Google Podcasts. As I was on my way here, Google Podcasts had already grabbed the show. Yes.
Okay.
So on Google Podcasts, there's one called Breaker. Some of the names, honestly, I don't know some of the platforms, but the fact that there's something happening, I can feel it that it's happening. It makes me want to just do more. And we're talking about having seasons where you have things you discuss about, and then they follow up. You know that you can look back and say, this is what I have done.
True. How
do I make it better? So True Yarn is that, let's just say it the way it is.
So analyzing the importance of starting small, starting from the bottom, talking about linking it to this True Yarn, what impact would you want True Yarn to have on people? What problem do you see that True Yarn addresses?
Okay.
What impact? At the end of the day, what would be the impact of True Yarn on anybody who listens to the podcast?
Right now, if you pick up your phone and you go on Instagram or you go on Twitter, let's stay with Twitter. You go on Twitter. One of the first, probably 5 trends you see can depress you if you're not careful. Yes,
brainwashing.
You see different things that you're asking yourself, how are people, and you hear what people say. I'm not saying I'm not perfect. You're not perfect, but you ask yourself, what can I do to make an impact in this world? What can I do when I'm old and grey? What can I do and look back and say, oh, this is what I did, or this is what I was able to do. So the impact for me is, there's a lot of the rate of suicide in not just Nigeria, it's really high. Now, rape, there's so many cases. I heard of one recently where an 18-year-old was raped. We know about the one in Benin where a girl was raped. So there are different ills that are happening. So it's more of like trying to reform. You go on there are different radio stations out there, there are different platforms out there, but how many of them constantly, I don't just want to listen to music. There are sometimes I say, I want music, but I want to be able to reshape in my mind to hear things that will inspire me and push me to be a better person.
Amazing, amazing. So if I may ask this, as we come to the end of this interview, how can young people begin to leverage opportunities that they see around them? Because for me in Nigeria, there are 1,000,001 opportunities that are disguised as problems.
True.
You have seen the problem of depression, for instance, and a couple of other things that people are struggling with. And you have been able to leverage technology and the media in solving some of those problems. Young people out there, how can they leverage the opportunities that they have around them to, impact their world?
I don't know if it's a black man thing or if it's an African thing because of what I want to say.
Okay.
We have this mentality. I came on set and I'm seeing the people, the hands that are working to make this, that are coming together to make this work. That's something that is missing in this part of the world. Everybody wants to make it on their own. We're not thinking about forging collaborations, forming partnerships. You watch major shows in the US or in the UK and you see how two young people come together and they're building something great. But here in Nigeria, it's different. No, this person is my village person. He wants to spoil my shine.
There's this competition amongst us.
Yes. So the truth is, if you have an idea that you have not acted on, it's zero. It's nothing. No matter how beautiful that idea is, zero. But if you have an idea that you're working on with someone, it's building momentum and it's getting. So I think young people should look at collaboration and should look at the idea that you should not have it all to start. There are lots of buildings out there that had, if you see the blueprints, they're going to build a 30-story building, amazing.
Building skyscrapers in the sky.
Yes. At the end of the day, it probably stops at maybe the second floor. So I would rather young people out there start by saying, how can we come together? What can we build together? Because there's so much energy. They say where two or three are gathered. I think I'll just leave it there.
Amazing. Bassey, what are your future plans? Before we even go into the future plans, in that question is ingrained in it. Okay. What are your future plans concerning marriage? Because I know that's an aspect that a lot of people want to know about. So
about marriage.
What are your plans towards that?
I definitely want to settle down.
So when are we looking at that happening?
Okay, we might start with a Zoom wedding. Oh my God. Yeah, so it's something that has been right from when I was even like a long time ago. I just told myself I want to settle early and start working on a couple of things, work on my family, have a family, have kids. I don't want to be old.
Every man wants that, Bassey.
Do you understand? So yes, so I think that's what I want. So I'm looking forward to settling down.
Amazing.
Soon,
So for your business, what are your future plans? What should people expect from you next? And how can they connect with your podcast?
So okay, for business, we're looking at innovative ideas, evolving. We all know how this whole pandemic has affected businesses.
True.
So evolving is very critical. How do we make sure that we are not lost in this pandemic? How do we forge out and become a better brand?
True.
If there's a book I read, Built to Last, it talks about businesses. I think Lamborghini started by producing tractors.
Oh, wow.
And now they have racing cars. They evolved. I don't know if they're still producing tractors, but we all know them for their racing cars. So I ask myself, how can DekkSeven become not a Lamborghini now, but evolve to become a better brand? So that's for DekkSeven. And then as for the podcast, it's not just a podcast, trust me, that's just a pinch.
Wow.
That's just a pinch. Wow. When I say pinch, like a grain of it, and seeing how far it has grown, even the listenership alone. After Nigeria, the next highest listenership we have is from the US. So you can imagine that. So the plan is not just having a podcast. It's way bigger than that.
Amazing.
And you'll be well, when next I come on the show, you see those things happening.
Definitely. Bassey, thank you so much for being on the show. I had an amazing time having these conversations with you. And I know our viewers out there learned a thing or two from our conversation. The point is, leveraging opportunities, becoming better at the end of the day, doing things that you would be proud of and your future generation will be proud of. Thank you so much for being here.
It was an amazing time.
Amazing time. I had fun. Guys, I hope you learned a lot from this. Till we'll come your way again, same time, same station. You can connect with Bassey on all his social media platforms. They'll be right there displayed on your screen. You can also connect with us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and every other place you get your content from. We'll definitely be there for you. Thank you for being a part of this. They will come your way again, same time, same station. Have an amazing one. God bless you.